So we should be looking at the camera or at Liz? Or each other? Should we stare into each other's eyes? My name's Lacey Squire. I'm a writer and a community organizer. 5.5 years ago, I moved from St. Paul, Minnesota, the capital, to Ely at the so-called end of the road. It's a small town with a population 3,300. Who are you?
My name's M. Baxley. M like the letter.
I'm a filmmaker and storyteller. I moved from Minneapolis to Grand Marais, which is about a population of 1,800 people 9 years ago.
I was just thinking about everything about Tofte Lake Center.
The best place in the world.
I think it is the best place in the world, actually. And for the purpose of this project, it is the perfect place.
Since we've met, since we've been friends for 3 years, and even though we don't have a lot of time on task, like when we spend time together, it is like, yeah, we're hanging out.
Being thrown into a cabin with each other, like that is also the place of realness and relationship.
It's an aggressive metaphor.
Yeah.
But we both like really opted into that. And it's been really fun along the way. Challenging, but like joyous.
Am I saying a lot with my face? Oh God, sorry.
Do you really not know? Oh, well, discovery about the project. I mean, we discovered the project. So that was cool.
Yeah, experientially.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you okay with starting at the beginning?
I love to start at the beginning.
Well, Lacey and I originally came together to tell stories of community. This is like 3 years ago. So that idea of community-driven existence, living up here, has always been this sort of centerpiece of our work. And so I think we have spent a lot of time over the years talking about the value of community, the significance of it, and really wanting to lift up our transformative experiences of community up here.
Yeah. So much of our process. Generally speaking.
But we hadn't seen each other for a while, so it's like getting caught up. And for us, like getting caught up, it's like...
I thought of showing it to friends. I thought of putting it such an imposing trinket.
Deep and dirty, you know, like very real. And then it just like evolved into this sort of like very generative conversation. You were like here and I was there and I had my notebook and I was just sort of like jotting down really resonant things as you were saying them. And it was like the most profound product will come most intimately and authentically from our lived experience. And it was like done. Okay, yes, like that is a tenet of this project. We are embracing that as something that will guide us from here on out.
And then we started to live it.
Yeah. Well, it's goosebumps. And it's the hair on the back of your neck, and it's the tingle, it's the heart rhythms synchronizing with the other people in the room. It's that like speechlessness.
It makes me feel connected with something bigger than myself. Everyday awe is something we all have access to. We just have to sort of tune into it, and that it's all around us all the time.
Prior to moving to Ely, I had been living in St. Paul. So by 2018, when the opportunity to move to Ely came up unexpectedly, in making the decision to do that, I was able to draw on, as someone who's an avid journaler, a very consistent record of yearning. And it always felt good, the choice to move to the edge of the wilderness, even when I was in that middle space, even when it was like mostly my books keeping me company. Now, having experienced what it feels like to be in Ely's Historic State Theater with like 300 of my friends, watching a show, celebrating an independent film, or what it feels like to be at Semers Park Beach for the annual Ely Folk School Spring Bonfire, feeling what it feels like to be at a book club meeting with some of my closest friends in one of their houses. Getting through that middle part was, so worth it. And the hardship of it is unavoidable.
I love the collective effervescence. That's the way that we experience awe through shared experience, right? To participating in the same thing.
Getting a bunch of bodies in a room to watch a sporting event, to see a live performance.
Or outdoors.
Yeah.
In a space.
Yeah, getting a bunch of bodies to share space.
And it's as much about the people you're there with or the people that you see there coming together as it is the expressions of the musicians and the dancing that's going on. And that's one example, but those things happen all the time.
And that astounds me that, like, I am a part of something bigger. I am a part of a group of enthusiasts for this place.
Yeah. And then, when you compare all of that yumminess, which is that's so positive with that idea of moral beauty, which is basically like feeling off from facing the struggle. Like, we are all doing that all the time. And if you choose to see it, you see yourself in that continually, and you see everyone around you in it continually. I was living in Minneapolis, and I was on track. And I still had this sense of craving and longing, getting away from the place. And it took moving to a place where the pace is slow, where the stimulation is biotic, where the energy around me is with the rhythm of the seasons, and my work is with the rhythm of the seasons. That was the first part of teaching me how to live, was a relationship with landscape and place, of slowing, and then putting me in a place to then be able to reflect on how I want to live. And then I think the relationships, just like the landscape, to live with a profound awareness and interconnectedness with the people around me. Like, I am learning how to live means learning how to live in relationship. And that is land, but that is like my neighbors. In relationship to myself. Yes.
3, 2, 1. Ha!
We talked about like what it's like to get back into our bodies, what it's like to be present, and then to move from that presence into the type of experience of awe and wonder every day that empowers us to take charge of our own lives, to not be victims or passive observers of life, but to engage meaningfully in it through the inspiration and relationship of those with those around us, and the way that in fact, is the way to live.
You puzzled it out.
You gave me the tools.
That is good stuff!
sounds
Can
good.
we do that part now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not with the essay?
No, I mean, can we just like start working on that now?
Oh, yeah.
Can we be done with this and do that?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you have more you want to say?
No.
Okay. And
Break. We had like this beautiful day where it was like, it felt like everything went well and we were so aligned and we were like, we're here, we're doing it. And then the next day was not the same.
Okay, like I just need to go.
I don't know what to tell
It
you.
felt like we were really not connecting and that was like the really struggle part. This moment in time is characterized by several crises of disconnection. A mind-body disconnection. We have disconnection interpersonally as evidenced by the epidemic of loneliness that is causing physical pain and is contributed to in part by a distinct disintegration of communities. And then on top of all of that, add this like political polarization. And then again, added on top of all of that, there's this sort of like flood of information that we have access to, but we're disconnected from meaningful tools for meaning making. And so that's the moment we're in time. And then we separated and came back, and Em came into the cabin and I was just like crying on a rocking chair. And Em sat down next to me and we just...
This kind of all overwhelmed me a little bit.
I read some of my writing.
Just get the camera,
Can I read you one of these poems?
please.
But it's that moment, you know, that Em came back. In the absence of Em, I was like able to like get really raw and deep with myself. And that when Em came back, I was willing and able to reveal that I felt really fragile. And willing and able to say why. And we were able to just like mutually disclose like what felt icky or hard about the process.
No matter how much I talked, I felt like you couldn't understand what I was saying. And I felt like instead I was hurting you.
That, I think, is the most profound moment of shared awe that I have had here with you. Like that having like sort of rupture and return. This breaking apart and coming together is the infinite reality of life. And it's the infinite reality of the creative process, and it's the infinite reality of community building. And all we can do is give ourselves the tools and trust ourselves to come back. And I feel good. I feel good because I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, it's not going to be roses from here, but I think I can handle the pattern, you know?
the breath, the dance.
The dance.
Community building is. Community building is inviting others into the home that is yourself. It's making dinner for new friends and setting intentions. Community building is eye contact and a gentle smile on the corner of your lips. Community building is marveling at the local family of mergansers with their queer little hairdos together. Community building is holding hands at the contra dance. It's gathering at the neighborhood watering hole to watch a friend play harmonica on open mic night. It's helping the children make blueberry piñatas for the festival. It's warmly greeting an elder and receiving what they know that you do not yet know. Community building is curiosity. It's taking the time to look and being courageous enough to see. Community building is risky feeling personal disclosure and a 60-second hug. Community building is a creative act. It requires vision, trust, and patience. Give it time. And when it gets to be too much, and the vision is lost, and the trust is hiding, leave. When you feel overwhelmed, go say hello to the rocks. Consider the lichen. Contemplate how the story, your story, the story of us, starts over and over and over and over again. And in some ways, on some days, maybe it helps to imagine that it all started 4 billion years ago when the first water, the only water, fell for the first time. How many times has it fallen since? How many times will I fall? It doesn't matter, baby girl. It only matters that you find your way back. Find your way back. Find your way back. Find your way back. If the eagle and raven can share the white pine, if the ledrock and the fern can share the shore, then we can share this town, this cabin, this world. In time, you'll be reminded by the infinite journey from stranger to friend. Give it time. You will find your way back. And then, my dear friend, we shall dance again.
I wonder what the etymological relationship between the word human and humble is.
This is classic Lacey character. I kind of wonder what the etymological relationship is between the word humble and human. Let me fetch a book off the bookshelf, please.